of the year, are we? Right? We're not doing this the entire time. This is something that we're doing for many of us, maybe once every 5 years. These guys, okay, once every year, nothing right? That's their alhamdulillah, and we need them to do that, right? But for the rest of us, honestly, I went on a cruise last year by myself with my family, right? And we were the only Muslims on the whole ship. SubhanAllah, this cruise, being 150 Muslims, we have separate sections of the island. We have the entire island yesterday. The entire section is ours. Today, okay, no doubt there was a few people that were not a part of the group, but nonetheless, we never felt awkward with the hijab, with the prayer, with the beard. MashaAllah, we have our musalla area. This is about as good as we can do for now. The goal, as you heard yesterday, I'm not advocating, on their behalf, but I am sympathetic to their cause, right? I'm not a part of the management of Salaam Cruise, as you know, but I'm sympathetic to their cause. Why? Because we as Western Muslims, as American Muslims, as Canadian, as anywhere Muslims, we need to make sure that we have a healthy balance. That we do not portray our religion as being unrealistic, as being haram, haram, haram. Right? And I say this as, inshallah, a person of knowledge and a sheikh, that when you understand what will happen to the mentality of the child who grows up hearing for 20 years, haram, 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 right? What's going to happen when he finally doesn't have to have a father or mother tell him what he can and cannot do, right? We need to have a healthy balance, a moderate, and frankly, what is moderate is relevant, depending on time, place, and culture, right? For us in America, this is about as halal as we can go for the time being. The ultimate goal, inshallah, one day will come when Salaam Cruise will have the entire ship, right? Inshallah. And when that happens, alhamdulillah. But in the meantime, we're going to have to bear with this background noise, with some visuals that we don't like, right? With the third, fourth floor gambling. We're going to have to bear with it for the time being. This is the bitter reality. And by the way, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam lived in a city where drinking was rampant, Makkah. He lived in a city where illicit relationships were everywhere. He lived in a city where, according to the Quran, how did the people do tawaf? You all know. Did he run away just because they're doing tawaf like that? This is at least these people are enjoying. Those people around the Kaaba, can you imagine how disgusting that is? Visualize that. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Did he run away from the city because of this? No. Because why? He's a part of that city, correct? He is a Makki, he's a Hashimi, he's a Qurashi. And when he's expelled from Makkah, what does he say? After 13 years of bitter persecution, he says to Makkah, metaphorically speaking, that إِنَّكَ لَأَحَبُّ الْبِلَادِ إِلَيْهِ. You are the most beloved of cities to me. Not just because it's a holy city, but because it is biladi. It is my land, right? And were it not for the fact that my own people kicked me out, expelled me, I would never have left you. This despite the fact that in that city was all that it had. Idol worship, which is the worst of all. And not just idol worship, idols in front of the house of Allah. Can you imagine? 360 idols in front of the house of Allah. And people are sacrificing. Blood is there because that's what they do in front of idols. And this and that and all of the other fahisha. And yet he remained there. He saw much worse than what we have seen, by the way. He saw much worse. But his presence there, his da'wah there, was his being with the people. And he would have remained there despite the filth and fahish and evil and idolatry and nudity. He would have remained there if they didn't kick him out. Why? Because you can't expect people to accept the message until they hear the message, until they know the message. And the only way they will hear and know the message is if they hear and know the messenger. And the only way they will hear and know the messenger is if they interact with him. Is that not true? Right? So, if our intentions are correct, and what is our intention? To please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then insha'Allah ta'ala, our presence on this ship, insha'Allah, is completely justified. We avoid, as Brother Wissam and others said, yes, we lower our gaze, we do this and that, yes. But, and we have all tested, I have stories, we all have stories of people talking to us on the ship. Right now, today, going up the elevator, literally 30 seconds, right? It's just meet a couple and me. Elderly Caucasian couple and me. So he's looking at me. I know he wants to say something, right? You know that look, you know what I'm saying? So I just smiled at him, just that. And he goes, so what's this Salaam Cruise?
Oh, he did.
So it opens up, right there. I had 30 seconds. I just gave him a short, 30 seconds. Salaam means peace in Arabic, and a Muslim group, this and that. He goes, oh yeah, I can tell you're Muslim. It's just like, he knows who we are. Alhamdulillah, that was pretty clear. Alhamdulillah. But now the point is, everybody on this ship noticed us, right? And like the guy said in the cafeteria right now, that what if the whole world could get along just like this could, just like we could on this ship, right? I honestly believe that he had us in mind as well. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, not all Muslims are that bad. It's like, subhanAllah, that is da'wah. That is da'wah, because you know what? People think that if you just talk to somebody for 5 minutes, he's going to say the shahada. That happens once in a while. But our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the bulk of the people of Mecca did not convert. After 20 years they converted. Isn't that true? Yes. His own kith and kin, his own blood relatives, some of them until the conquest of Mecca, then they converted. 23 years! And we think in 2 minutes, people, no, you need to make sure the people trust you. They know you. Right? This too is just a part of the da'wah. So, bottom line, alhamdulillah, honestly, we as American Muslims, as Western Muslims, we are here. This is our land. We're here to stay. Right? I keep on telling our elders, with all respect to them, is that our land is not the land where our grandfathers came from. It's where our grandchildren are going to be buried. This is the reality here. I speak English 100 times better than I speak Urdu. This is the reality, because this is my land. Right? I was born here, I was raised. This is our culture. For those of you who have come from overseas to here, okay, I understand. For you, there is a foot here and a foot here. For those of your children who were born here, and I'm one of them, I'm of the earliest, back in the 70s. My father came in 1963. I'm of that generation, we were born here. For me, this is my land. Despite all that's happening, this is my land. And I have nowhere else to go, and I do not want to go anywhere because I am acclimatized here. So for those of us who are here, what is the alternative? What is the solution? We need to think forward. And a part of thinking forward, one section, is that our children grow up having an environment to practice Islam, even as they can dabble in certain things that we don't do throughout the year, just as this cruise now. So alhamdulillah, when, of course I know Brother Faisal from before, he was part of our Maghrib and a student and whatnot, and when he told me about the idea even before it started, I was very supportive of it, and I will continue to be supportive of it, because I firmly believe that this is just